Even Einstein fell behind fast on the physics of his time. Imagine Collins, a biologist, talking big about physics. Albert Einstein is often considered one of the greatest scientific minds in history. His contributions to physics revolutionized our understanding of space, time, and gravity. Yet, despite his monumental achievements, Einstein himself struggled to keep up with the physics of his time. He resisted quantum mechanics, a field that grew rapidly during his later years, and spent much of his time searching for a unified field theory that ultimately went nowhere. If even Einstein, a physicist of unparalleled brilliance, fell behind so quickly, what does that say about Francis Collins, a biologist, making grand claims about modern physics and fine-tuning arguments? Einstein versus quantum mechanics, a case of falling behind. Einstein's skepticism of quantum mechanics is well documented. His famous phrase, "God does not play dice," reflected his discomfort with the probabilistic nature of quantum mechanics, which contradicted his preference for deterministic physical laws. The generation of physicists that followed him, Bohr, Heisenberg, Schrödinger, and others, embraced quantum mechanics and made enormous strides in understanding the fundamental nature of reality. Meanwhile, Einstein remained resistant, stuck in an older framework of physics that was rapidly becoming obsolete. The point here is not to diminish Einstein's genius, but to highlight the reality that even the best minds can struggle to keep pace with advancements in their own field. Science evolves quickly, and staying at the cutting edge requires constant immersion and engagement. Francis Collins, a biologist talking cosmology. Now, consider Francis Collins, a geneticist and former director of the National Institutes of Health. Collins is known for his leadership in the Human Genome Project, but he is also a devout Christian who argues for the fine-tuning of the universe as evidence of God's existence. The problem? Fine-tuning is a question deeply rooted in physics and cosmology, fields Collins has no expertise in. Collins frequently invokes physics to justify his belief in a designer, yet he lacks the technical and mathematical understanding to engage with modern physics properly. He leans on arguments that have been heavily debated and often refuted by physicists who actually work in cosmology. If even Einstein, a physicist, couldn't keep up with his own field, why should we take seriously a biologist making sweeping claims about physics? The issue of overconfidence in science. Collins represents a broader issue in modern science. Scientists speaking outside their expertise with an air of authority. It's not that a scientist can't explore other disciplines, but making big, public claims about them without mastering the field is dangerous. Fine-tuning arguments, the multiverse, and the nature of physical laws are topics debated by physicists, not biologists. When Collins speaks on these matters, he is not offering cutting-edge scientific insight. He is promoting theological views masked as science. The appeal to simplicity. Why God adds complexity, not elegance. Einstein was a firm believer in the principle of simplicity in science. He often argued that the best models are those that require the fewest assumptions. This is why he championed theories with elegant, fundamental principles, such as relativity. However, invoking God as an explanation for fine-tuning does the opposite. It adds unnecessary complexity. Instead of searching for a naturalistic explanation, it introduces an undefined, supernatural entity with even more unanswered questions. If Einstein were alive today, would he support Collins' fine-tuning argument? Highly unlikely. Einstein was deeply skeptical of adding unnecessary layers to scientific explanations, and he saw religious beliefs as separate from the pursuit of scientific knowledge. Conclusion: the limits of scientific authority. The reality is that expertise does not automatically transfer across disciplines. Einstein, despite his genius, struggled with new developments in physics. Collins, a biologist, is even further removed from modern cosmology, yet he speaks with confidence on topics far beyond his specialization. If even Einstein couldn't keep up with his own field, we should be extremely skeptical of a geneticist making bold claims about the fine-tuning of the universe. Science demands rigorous expertise, not appeals to authority from those outside their domain. Collins may be a great biologist, but when it comes to physics, his arguments belong in theology, not in serious scientific discourse.